Hello and welcome back to the Get Sculpted podcast. I'm really excited because we have a special guest today. It is me, Coach Tijana, interviewing my husband, Brian. And I'm really excited about this because it's going to be so helpful to so many of our listeners and many of our clients as well with ADHD. So Brian, to give you some background, he has been in the fitness industry for over 15 years. And obviously we connect a lot about that because we do the same thing. But he has ADHD and he got diagnosed as an adult, and our older son has ADHD and our younger one probably does, but he hasn't been officially diagnosed. And it's really helped me as a coach to see what my clients are going through. And I know it's helped Brian as well with our kids and with our clients. So I know there's going to be a lot of good value today. So Brian, welcome and thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the nice introduction.
Of course, absolutely. Like I said, I gotta sell this thing to everybody because it's going to be really valuable. If you've been struggling with building momentum in your fitness journey, and if you feel like you just can't get yourself together, and all the things that I've heard with ADHD and that I've seen with you in like different areas and with the kids, this is when having like the right structure can be really helpful. So let's take it back a second, Brian, and let's talk about what it was like to get diagnosed as an adult with ADHD. When did that happen? Walk us through that.
Yeah, so I got diagnosed as an adult, like you said. It was about just over 2 years ago. I was 35, I think. And honestly, it was like a mix of emotions, really. It was a relief in a lot of ways because it explained a lot of why I was the way I was. I thought there was something wrong with me for so long. But it explained how, my lack of focus, or like why I was able to laser focus on things that I loved and not focus at all, or like completely procrastinate on things that
you're not interested in,
that I wasn't interested, or even things that I know I should be doing that just are boring to me,
That's like Hunter.
So it explained, oh my God, it explained a lot.
Hunter's our son, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, but I was going to say, like, that's how you got diagnosed, right? Is Hunter got diagnosed? We were thinking he had ADHD. I don't know how we got thinking about it, but
I think it was, we were getting phone calls from his school. That,
a lot of phone calls.
Behavioral issues and all those kind of things.
We can laugh now.
And they were like, we think you should get him checked for ADHD. And that kind of clicked. We're like, yeah, maybe he has ADHD.
Because of these symptoms.
Boy, boys they're active, right?
They can't sit still and they can't pay attention.
Yeah. But then it got to the point where he was just like really on another level. Yeah. So we started looking into it. And when we looked into it for him, I was like, geez, I have all these symptoms as well. So I might get checked out. And then I did. And lo and behold, I had it as well.
That's the interesting thing though, right? Because it shows up differently for different people. So like one thing you have locked in is your fitness, and you always have. So I think this is going to be helpful. Like if you like take us through your fitness journey then, like how did you get into fitness?
So I was basically into fitness all my life. It started off with sports. I played sports from a young age, pretty competitively. Once I guess I was maybe 18, 19, and I was still doing the sports, but I started training in the gym because I wanted to put on some size and get stronger, and I guess be more competitive in the sports that I was playing because I was pretty small. I was a skinny guy. And once I started seeing results with that, I kind of cut back on the sports a little bit because guys weren't showing up to training, and it was just, there was almost no point. To me at the time, it was like, I'm getting a lot more out of my own training than I am from the team training, because it was pissing rain and like 0 degrees and it's freaking cold and no one is showing up, and you're just kind of fucking around, excuse my language, messing around on the football field and not really getting anything out of it. Whereas with the training, I had a plan and I was getting results, and every session I could feel myself like getting stronger and getting fitter and getting into better shape.
So, okay, taking it back then, what I'm hearing is like you stayed committed to it because you saw the results from it. Which
100%,
is with ADHD, I mean, my understanding is when you like something, like you really like it, you're like hyper focused. Exactly. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, exactly. And I think with everyone, not even with ADHD, like we tend to like the things that we're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that, with the fitness, I got pretty good at it pretty quickly. And from then it was just like, I didn't even have to think about it. And I guess, like one thing that sticks out to me is like, so I was working this job in a stockroom, like back in 2008 or 9. And that's kind of when I started getting into it. And I started getting some results, and we were at breakfast one day and I kind of lifted up like I was scratching my face or something. My shirt came up and this girl at the table was like, "Oh my God, you've got abs."
You're like, yes,
that
I
was
do.
like, no one had seen abs at that, like in the town at that stage before. It was like early days into fitness. And that just blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, like this, like that's my new identity. It's like the
You're
guy
the
with
talk of
abs.
the town, literally.
Like it became my identity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, ever since then, like I've just been locked in on fitness.
You know what's funny? And I will share this, that we are so opposite in so many ways. Like Brian, you grew up being the fit guy from an early age, but I was like the opposite. I was like the fat kid. And then even when I got into fitness, like I kind of sucked at it for a long time. But yeah, we'll talk about that. I just think that's funny that we're like so yin and yang.
We're
So
yin and yang. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was always like naturally skinny, but that's
Yes, yes.
like my diet was really poor as well. Like you could count the amount of foods that I had on one hand. Like I had like my diet was so bad. Like I was
Oh
the
yeah.
fussiest eater.
I know, I know. We're gonna talk about the diet for sure, because that is a thing. It's a sensory thing, and even if you don't have ADHD, like a lot of clients I work with, like again, I do sympathize more because of what we've talked about. When you're a selective eater and you're an adult, it's almost kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong, but some people are like, I'm kind of embarrassed. Like I'm kind of like I should be
Yeah.
past this.
Yeah, 100%. Like you've heard me tell this story before. Like I remember when I was, geez, I must have been 19, went out for dinner with my parents, and I ordered chicken nuggets and chips from the
Oh my
menu,
God.
and the thing came, and I was like, oh my God, I was mortified, and that was kind of what drove me to be like, okay, now I really got to do something here. Like I
Yeah.
can't be going out to restaurants and when I'm older, like going on dates with girls and like freaking ordering chicken nuggets and chips. Like it was just it was yeah, it was a realization that like something has to change here.
Yeah, and that is a part of ADHD, which we'll talk about as well, but it's the sensory thing. And I think that was it for you. So, okay, like for now, people might be listening thinking, "Oh, okay, you have yourself together with the fitness and I'm kind of not there yet." So, why don't you share like how does your ADHD show up in your daily life right now? Because the fitness is on lockdown, but there are some things you struggle with. So, like, how do you manage it? How does it show up?
Yeah, so for me, it's I guess restlessness, but not like the typical restlessness where like you can't sit still
Like you're
and you're
hyper,
always
yeah.
fidgeting. And for me, it's like more of an internal restlessness. My brain is going like 90 miles an hour all the time. Like I'm like thinking about like 100 different things, and I can't really focus in on one specific thing that I need to do because it's just
like
like
your
this
tabs
really
open.
100%, 100%. It's like there's like 5, 10 different conversations going on in my head at the one time, and it's hard to just pick one thing that I need to focus on right now and then do that. It's like there's so many different things going on. So that's one thing. Procrastination is another thing. We kind of touched on that, like things that I find boring or not like really, not that I'm going to get like an instant dopamine hit from. Those
Yes.
things get pushed to the back burner all the time. Time blindness. Like, geez, I realized this morning, like even just getting Lucas ready for school, I'm like, oh my God, like this is just something that I know about, but I still struggle with all the time.
Right.
Like, I think I have more time than I actually do. And then it's like, okay, now we're going to be late. So like, we really got to hustle. And that's when I start getting things together. What else? Focus, like a lack of focus. I
Memory.
think I touched on that, but yeah, like those would be the main things, I guess.
Yeah. Did I say memory?
Memory, yeah, memory. Like it's funny, I've always had a pretty good memory.
But it depends on for what, maybe.
Like I guess like my long-term memory is pretty good, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's like I can have a conversation with someone and literally they're talking to me and I can't focus on what they're saying, or I'm in the middle of saying something and then I get distracted or I lose my train of thought and I completely forget like what was I even saying. Those are pretty common.
Yes, yes. So obviously, like this ADHD still shows up, right? Like we're not
Yeah.
going to say today, hey, we're going to cure your ADHD. We'd make lots of
No,
money
no.
if that could be the
Oh
case.
my God, I
but-
wish.
and you're like,
Like that- and-
please.
Like going back to your first question, like that's why it's kind of a relief in a lot of ways. Like I thought I was like getting freaking Alzheimer's or like I honestly thought there was something wrong with my memory and with my brain. And because like I'm in the middle of talking and like forget what I'm even saying in the middle of my sentence. And I was honestly like so worried. And then I found out that was part of the ADHD, which was like a relief in a lot of ways.
Well, it is validating. It's absolutely
It's
validating.
validating, yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's very validating for my clients as well, because it helps me understand. Because for a long time, the way that I coached people, I'm going to be honest, in those early years, I didn't really comprehend that coaching was about helping people, like leading people to change. It was more like if I just give them a great plan and it's going to be all good, but it's not, because everybody's so different. And like some clients I have are, like, again, we are very different because I don't have ADHD and I'm very like, I have a task, I implement it, I make like a work back schedule, I use ChatGPT to like put it into buckets. And that's why like I like making content and things like that. So some clients I have will be like that, and some will be like, it's not that they don't want to do it. It's just that it's just so many balls in the air, and they just need really like simplified structure, especially to build that momentum.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to, sorry, go ahead.
I would say like you're very kind of analytical like that. It's like,
Yes.
you know what you want to do, you make the plan, and then you just go and do it. But for someone with ADHD, it's like, okay, we know we have to do a certain thing, but for whatever reason, our brain is just like not letting us do it.
You had an analogy for that. Do you remember it?
Yeah. It's like, I saw this on Instagram, some girl, I can't remember who it is, but she was like standing by the stove, and the stove was on, and she's like doing this skit where she's kind of talking to herself, and she's like, put your hand on the stove, like the hot stove. And she's like, no, like, I'm not going to do that, but you could do it. I'm like, yeah, I could do it, but like,
it's painful.
My brain is not going to let me do that because it knows it's painful. And it's kind of like that with the ADHD. It's like not so much a pain, but it's almost like an internal pain or something. Yeah,
I know. And it's funny because I feel that in smaller amounts, and I think of you often. Like this morning, I had something on my tasks, and it was something that I knew was going to be tedious and that like I needed to really think about. And I just was really avoiding that task. Like I was like, I don't need to do it this morning. And then I waited, and then time was passing, and I was like, I feel like this is a micro dose of what maybe your brain is like all the time. So
all the time.
Yeah. Like I want to talk about specifically, our listeners are obviously all about like getting fitter, getting lean, building muscle, all the things. And what people struggle with, I've realized, is like when something is not already part of your routine, it's hard to make it that way. And with fitness, it's like, let's just be honest. If you're not in good shape, whether like you don't like how you look physically, you got fat to lose, or you got muscle to build, or you're really like getting winded, you don't have good conditioning, it's hard. Like it's hard to show up and do something where like you don't get results after one session. You don't do one workout and look in the mirror and have abs, or like one clean meal and it's like I lost 50 pounds. So like that's where it's hard, because if you have ADHD, you don't get that instant dopamine hit. So I want to share some things that are going to help our listeners here, Brian, with how you have made this such a core part of your lifestyle and identity. So let's break it up into like the nutrition side of things and the training side of things. So okay. I think what's really cool about you, and I always tell you this and you're like, I feel like you're very humble in that sense, but we're going to hype you up here, is you're like super good shape and always stay lean, and you don't freaking count your calories. Like you even did a photo shoot and had like, an 8-pack and like super lean, and not to mention you're deadlifting like 400 pounds. Like you're so fit and you don't count calories, and everyone thinks that's so crazy. How does that happen?
I guess I've got my non-negotiables, and I don't like to overcomplicate things. I think that's another thing with ADHD. It's like the fewer steps, the better.
Yes.
Like especially with nutrition, like I see the benefit in tracking your macros and tracking your calories and all of that. But for me, it's too many steps. It's too many steps. Like it's, okay, I gotta scan the QR code. I gotta enter the thing in. I gotta like calculate like how many servings it is. And then I gotta like put that in, like, it's just too many freaking steps.
It's like that sorry.
Like, okay, I've got like 100 calories left. What can I have for that? It's like, it's too much.
Like that Justin Bieber meme that's like, immediately no. I'm telling you right now, I seen what I needed to see. You know the one?
Yeah. So for me, it's like more just like non-negotiables. I have like, okay, protein with every meal. Mm-hmm. I know, like for me, okay, you should be having like what? A gram of protein per pound of body weight, right? For me, it's like, okay, I'll have 3 or 4 meals plus a couple of snacks. And I have like a good amount of protein with each meal. And I keep my meals pretty consistent. Like I've got maybe a few different breakfasts that I rotate through. Like eggs and toast will be like the main one. Like the flourish pancakes, a yogurt bowl, something like that. Like there's always protein. There's always like some form of carb, and like usually like fruit or veg. And then like same thing with the lunch and with the dinners. It's like lunch is usually leftovers from the dinner the night before, but it's always like a good quality meat. Like a rice or a quinoa or potatoes, like some form of like carb, and then like veggies, and then same with the dinners. So I guess I try and reduce the amount of decision fatigue in what I'm.
Yeah, and I think that this is important too, Brian. It's a good point. There's nuance, because at the core of it all, you're prepared. And I will say that I do the meal prep a lot of the time. So like
you do, yeah, you do.
Yeah,
you do.
Not that I'm tooting my horn, but I think that this is an important discussion, because like that's another thing I think people have trouble with is momentum. Because like Everyone knows they should batch cook, hopefully. And if you're freaking resistant to that, I'm going to go on a sidebar rant. You need to have meals ready, period. Like if you expect to like reach your fitness goals with being in the kitchen like 3 times a day, it's not going to happen. You're going to miss the meal, or you're going to get some freaking takeout or eat something that you shouldn't to get to your goal. So you need to have food on hand, right? So like, you were still kind of following this eating pattern before we got together. But I think your secret sauce even back then was like you don't deviate from your existing. Like I remember going grocery shopping with you and you were buying your own groceries. Obviously we didn't live together then. And I was like, "Don't you have a list?" And you're like, "No, I just get the same exact thing every time. I pass the same round of Freshco you'd make and you'd be like, I'm going to get my green onions, I'm going to get my beef, I'm going to get my granola." And then you had the raisin granola, but you picked out the raisins, remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, okay, so you've got the nutrition, like I try and keep that as simple as I can. Protein, whole foods, fruits and veggies, lots of fiber. But on top of that then, like you want to make sure that you're getting your movement in, your sleep is good, and like you're working out, like building muscle. Like that's a huge thing. Like the fact that you've got like muscle and you're moving and your metabolism is on fire, it allows you to not have to be so strict with the diet.
Okay, that's a really good point. And I do want to talk about that with the training. But can I ask you something about the diet though, coming back to that?
Yeah.
So another thing too is I'm gonna out you here a little bit, but you do have like your little snacks. It's not like you eat super like, no fun things. Like every day you're having a little bit of chocolate and, eating some chocolate chips and whatnot. And then, sometimes I'll even ask myself, like I kind of step back and I'm like, this guy doesn't count his calories and he's just vacuuming up the chocolate chips every day. Literally, you'll be like sucking them up. But then, like, I noticed so many things about you, Brian, is like, whereas, like, I'll log something in my macros and totally justify it all the time. You'll be like, no, I'm good. And then I'm like, oh, but why not? Like, whatever. And then you're like, because, like, I know that overall I've had a lot of treats, like, in this period. So I think, like, talk to me about how you self-regulate based on, like, like, what do you do? Like, do you follow your hunger signals? Do you just kind of, like, look out and, like, zoom out and think, gosh, I've snacked a lot lately? Like, what kind of helps you regulate that you're not eating too much calories when you're not tracking the calories?
Good question. I guess it's a lot of, I guess I would eat intuitively. Like I pay attention to my hunger cues. And the other thing is like, we don't have that much junk in the house. Like we have the chocolate chips, which is like my go-to.
Your kryptonite.
My kryptonite. But like if there is other things in the house, like you're going to eat it. Like for instance, Lucas's birthday cake. A couple of weeks back. Like
we were all
that was in the house and like we freaking got through that in like that's a big cake. We got through that in like no time. because it was there. I mean the boys did as well. Like, I mean it wasn't
just kidding.
Us. But
so your environment sets up your success.
The environment sets up the success, 100%. And but for me, like I don't know, like I've always been pretty good at not beating myself up when I go off track. Like we all get off course and kind of feel it a little bit, but for me, like I've never really beaten myself up about that. Like I have my staples, my go-tos with my meals and stuff, and then like okay, I've had a few extra chocolate chips. I'm just gonna get back on like my next meal. Maybe reduce the carbs a little bit if I need to, like if I really went overboard. But for me, it's like sometimes I think about this. It's like sometimes I go over by a lot, and I'm like, oh my god, I've just zoned out. I'm like, I've been here for like 5 minutes, just like fucking. Like sucking in these chocolate chips, and I'll think about it. And I'm like, okay, like, I can actually feel it in my stomach. I'm like, okay, I've had too much. I've had too much. I need to cut back a little bit, and I will. It's almost like a reset, like an internal reset in my brain.
It's on autopilot.
I've had my fill. Now I'm good for a while, and that actually helps me to reset and come back and just kind of ground myself and get back to the basics and to the standards.
So your meals are your North Star, like your core meals. And Brian, let me tell you what I see with my clients, because I think this is going to be helpful to our listeners, is they are so amazing with when I give them a meal plan, they actually love it. People with ADHD, they're like, oh my God, you gave me exactly what to eat and when to eat it. And then even with the batch cooking, they're like, I'll do that. And then where the problem lies is like, but now I'm on vacation. Oh, but I forgot my lunch at home. Oh, but now I'm in a different environment. I don't have my oven, whatever it is. When they're off their routine, then it's really hard to get back on. So one thing you do really well that I've observed is like when we go on an all-inclusive vacation, for example, like, you're still going to that buffet and you're not getting like just pizza. Like you're getting a balanced meal and you're still eating that balanced meal like 3 times a day or whatever it is. There's more snacks and whatever, but like we're still training when we're on vacation. and it might not be a full, intensity or 1 hour, but you're still keeping your routine. So yeah, talk to me about that.
Actually, like one thing you just made me think of there was my diet used to be like really bad. Like it was just junk food all the time. And when you're used to eating junk food all the time, like you don't really notice it. And
Yeah.
as soon as I cleaned that up and I cleaned up my diet, like if I had like a McDonald's, for instance, I would feel that in my stomach and I'm like, oh man, I kind of feel like a little bit nauseous, or like my stomach's kind of doing cartwheels and stuff. And like when you're eating like proper food for like consistently, like when you do go off track, like you feel it. And that's
Yes.
not a good feeling. That's
No.
not a good feeling. So I enjoy eating the foods that I eat. Like they're healthy foods, but they taste good.
Yes.
Like you can change, like you can eat chicken like 10, 15, 20 different ways. Like you can
Oh,
change
yeah.
the seasoning and like it makes a huge difference. There's like you can still eat like the same foods, but cook them differently or change the seasoning and it changes it up a little bit. But yeah, like when for me, I don't like feeling like crap. Like I like eating the food that I eat. I know I'm going to feel good. I know I'm going to look good. And I know I'm going to perform better. If I
Right.
eat like pizza all day or like burgers or like really greasy food, I'm going to be sluggish. I'm going to feel like crap. My workouts are going to suck. Everything just kind of it's like a snowball effect. When you eat healthy, you feel good, you look good. When you don't consistently, it's like it's the opposite.
So that's a good point, Brian. And then you don't want to deviate from that once you have it. So this is the advice I give to some clients, whether they have ADHD or not. Sometimes you have to just implement this into your routine. If you like, you crave right now, let's say McDonald's and junk food, and you're all over the place with your eating. Get into the structured eating, get into eating the whole foods, and maybe you're kind of white knuckling it in the beginning where you're like, oh, this is a lot harder, but then eventually you do see the result of that. So do you think that's good advice? Like early on, just kind of do it until it becomes something you enjoy?
Do it until it becomes something you enjoy. Yeah, yeah. But like, if it's going to be overwhelming to like give up everything that you're currently doing and then all of a sudden start like all this new stuff, like,
Right.
that can be overwhelming.
Yes.
So like my advice would be, okay, give up one thing and then introduce one thing. And
Right.
then give up another thing and then introduce another. Like do it like in small manageable doses. And then like after a couple of months, like you'll notice the difference.
Yes, exactly. So I think this is actually a perfect time to interject that, like, if this is something that you want support with and you're struggling and you're listening to this and you're like, I see what you mean and I feel like this is really going to benefit me, then this is exactly what we support our clients with. Whether you have ADHD or not, or you're just struggling to build a routine, exactly what Brian and I are talking about here is what we teach. So creating a simple and repeatable structure that you can actually stick to. And I just want to let you know that if you're listening to this and you do want support, you don't need to do this alone. So feel free to contact us at getsculpted.ca/contact. And we can help you create these systems that are going to work with your life, with ADHD, or if you just want that extra support. So fill out the application and we'll see what that looks like for you. All right. So coming back to the training side of things, Brian, what I see with my clients with ADHD is they will train, again, at home in the container of their routine. They're fine. And then, oh, I got sick and now I can't build momentum, or now I'm away and I don't have a gym and I'm thrown off. So like one thing you do really well that I've noticed again is like you maintain your fitness, and that's important to you. Whether we're traveling to like Ireland and we're working out at your parents' house, like literally with like resistance bands, or we go out and seek a gym. So like what tip would you give to someone who isn't at the place where fitness is their identity yet, but they want it to be?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely learned from you with this for sure. Like, okay, before I met you, like I would still, like when I go on vacation, I would still make sure that I get my workouts in. But I'm not like, I know I'm going to do that, and I'll fit it in like when I fit it in. But for you, like I've learned that, okay, like we really need to plan when we're going to get the workout in.
Right.
So we'll pick a hotel that has like a decent gym, or like it's close to a gym, and we will plan to work out like first thing in the morning, so that we get, we front load it, because things are going to come up. You're going to get
Yes.
tired, and it's going to be harder to do it later on in the day. So I've learned that from you. Like, make sure that we're planning ahead and we're putting it in the calendar before we actually get there. And that way, like, okay, now we've got the plan. We know we're going to get the workout in, and then we've got the rest of the day to do whatever we're going to do.
That's so true. We haven't even talked about that, the systems, because you're right, on vacation is key. And that's a really good point, because a lot of people think I intend to work out on vacation. I actually have a client like this who said, but it didn't end up happening and things went sideways or whatever. But it's a matter of looking at your schedule and saying like, okay, this day I'm sightseeing, this day we're here, this day we're all over the place, this day we're traveling. So
Yeah.
be realistic and say like, what get the hotel gym and, like you said, plant it in the calendar. But even when you're home, let's talk about how people can input things into their routine. So, Brian, I know that obviously fitness is a part of what you do, but maybe share with people who haven't built routines around fitness or nutrition. Like, what would be your recommendation to schedule that? Like, alluding to the fact that they do need to plan it.
Keep it simple. Like I said before, like the more steps something has, the harder it's going to be to follow through on. So just keep it simple. Okay. So obviously first thing is like put it in your calendar. Like when are you going to work out? First thing in the morning, like the morning is probably the easiest time because then you're front loading it and something comes up during the day, like you've got your workout in, it's already done, you're not going to miss it.
Right.
But like something else is like having your workout clothes ready to go when you wake up, having your coffee like brewed on a timer, and it's like these things are like just, you don't even have to think about it in the morning and you're ready to go. So like simple things like that, just like try not to complicate it. Like I said, the more steps something has, the harder it's going to be to follow through.
Would you recommend home workouts for that reason?
Yeah. I mean, if you've got a home gym, then absolutely. I see the benefit to working out at home. I see the benefit to going to the gym. Like, it's as long as you're getting the workout in and what works for you. Like some people prefer gyms, some people prefer home workouts. Like whatever works for you. But like if you're working from home,
it has to work.
It has to work, and you have to have some equipment. Like you can't just be doing bodyweight stuff and expecting to progress all the time. Like you need to invest in the gym if you're going to be working out from home.
And the gym might be good.
Yeah,
you're right. I think that is a reframe too. And we're both advocates of the gym. When I say working out at home, we're talking about equipment. Just to clarify, guys, we're not talking about like, the workouts where you're in your living room like punching with some dumbbells. No offense. But if you want to see change in your body, male or female. What was I going to say about the home workout situation? Oh, the driving to the gym. With ADHD, that can that not be a good thing because it's like a break in routine? That's how I think of it. It's
it can.
You're not distracted?
You're getting in the zone.
Yes.
Like for me, driving to the gym was always getting in the zone. Like I would look at my workout beforehand, before I leave, so I know what I'm doing. I'd have like good music on in the car. I'd be visualizing, okay, I'm doing my warm up. I'm like doing my bench press. I'm like, how much am I going to lift? And I'd be visualizing myself like doing that. So then when I get to the workout, like I've already done it in my head. Like I'm just repeating it again. And I'm already in the zone. But like I do have like a pre-workout ritual kind of that I have. Like for me, I have my pre-workout, the Dominate PVL stuff that I always have a pre-workout. It just and I've actually reduced it from like a full scoop to a half a scoop just because it's more so the routine, like more so than like everything that's in it. But like it definitely does give me energy and helps me to focus and stuff. But that, just because I don't drive to the gym anymore, like that, taking the pre-workout is my getting in the zone and getting ready for the workout. So I'll take my pre-workout, I'll look at my workout, see what I'm going to do, and I'll do my warm-up, and then I'll get straight into it.
Okay, I think this is helpful actually to kind of like give people what Brian does for his routine, like what your BAMs are, your bare ass minimum. So someone with ADHD, what can they take from you in terms of your routine? So what is your go-to during the week? Like guide us through when you work out, what do meals look like at the minimum?
Okay, so my routine, I get up, have my clothes in the bathroom, ready to go. So I brush my teeth and everything, and then I'm dressed and get up. I have my coffee and kind of planning the day then for a little bit. I'm not much of a guy to work out in the morning. I see the benefit in it, but for me,
you need fuel.
I need fuel. Yeah. And I like late morning, early afternoon workouts for me personally. But obviously, I work from home. It's easy for me to do that. But like when I was in the office before, I would go, like I found a Good Life that was closer to where I worked, and I'd go at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And I'd get it in before the work. So whatever your routine has to work with your schedule, basically.
Yeah. So guide us through yours. So you're working
I
out the
get
afternoon.
up and have, brush my teeth, get dressed, have my coffee, plan the day, get the boys up, get them, we do that together. We get the breakfast ready, get them ready for school. And
yeah, they're not always on time, but we're not perfect. So
we're not perfect. No.
Yeah.
No. We're learning. We're always learning as well.
But we get our workouts in. Yeah. So we work out together typically. And that's another thing. And I will say that it is harder, and I sympathize with that, for people whose spouse is on a totally different page. So I think that they need to just be on their own journey. I'm just interjecting that advice because if you're listening to this and thinking, oh, well, I would love if my husband was on the same page, or because our listeners are female. Anyway, sorry. So we do work out together. That does help a lot. We both work from home, so we work out during the day, and then you're working out typically the same time at the same days, right?
Typically, like it's usually, I would say like late morning, early afternoon, or like always before we get the boys. Like we
Right.
used
But
to do it kind of
repeatable
after.
time, typically.
Repeatable
Yeah.
time. And like
Right.
I will, okay, I'll see when we're going to work out, and then I'll kind of plan my day around that. So if we're working out at 2 o'clock, I'll make
Yeah.
sure, okay, I've eaten my lunch before that. I'll have a coffee at like 11 o'clock so that I can have my pre-workout at 2 o'clock. Or if we're working out at 11 o'clock, I'll have my pre-workout then, and then I'll have maybe a coffee later on if I feel like it.
So you said
So
something important there. Sorry, I was gonna say you're anchoring your day around your training basically, and
exactly, yeah,
this is the foreign thing for a lot of people. They just give themselves the crumbs. They're like, oh, I'll get to it when I can. That's not gonna work.
yeah.
When you anchor your day around your training, then not only you're gonna get the training session in, but you're also gonna like pour more into everything else, right?
Exactly, and like you feel better when you work out. Like you're releasing the endorphins, the serotonin, and for me, like when I don't work out, I feel it. Like my mind is racing even more. I feel like stiffer. I feel like low energy. So for me, it is like a therapy session for myself. It's like I gotta move my body, and I gotta make sure that I get that in. So that for me, it's like the most important thing of the day is like getting that workout in, because when I show up there for myself, I show up better for everyone else for the rest of
Exactly.
the day.
And that's the big message here too. It's like it's not selfish, and it might feel like, especially again because we're a lot of women, a lot of moms listening, they might think, oh, but how am I going to take this time away from my family? But when you front load it, it's going to benefit not only your ADHD but your family as well. And then meals, I think, like just to sum it up, Brian, you said you're eating pretty much the same repeatable meals that are already cooked in advance. And if they're not, you're making something that's just doesn't take a lot of time and a lot of effort that's going to hit your goals.
Exactly, exactly. And that's the thing with like prepping the meals as well. Like you're really good with that, and I've learned a lot from prepping the meals. But like if remember when I was doing that program with that bodybuilder one time, and I was eating like 2 pounds of potatoes every day, and I was like cooking them every single day.
Yes.
Like it was it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. Like whereas if it takes an hour and 15 steps, like you're not going to do it.
No,
Whereas if
no.
like okay, if you take like 1 or 2 days a week and batch cook a bunch of different things, like it takes 5 minutes to plate the food and heat it up, and it's so much easier.
And might I add too, like there's ways of cutting corners. Like I know even before we got together, you weren't batch cooking, but at least you had like your tuna and pasta was like a 5 minute meal or 10 minute or
Yeah,
whatever that
yeah,
you
yeah,
would
yeah,
make every day. And like a yogurt bowl is like an easy snack we have every day. That heck, when we don't pre-make breakfast, like that's what we're having, right?
yeah,
Or so like anything that meals, breakfasts, like lunches, a lot of the time you can buy stuff like, the canned tuna or the ham and like make a sandwich, make a smoothie, do something you don't need to cook when like cut corners when you can. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong
yeah.
with cutting
Like
corners.
one thing I've realized a long time ago with training and with nutrition, with everything, if I can't stick to it long term, like if I can't see myself doing it for the rest of my life, like what's the point in doing it for while I'm motivated for the next 2 weeks to do it?
So true.
And it's like that. Like I'm not going to count calories for the rest of my life. So I've figured out a way that a simple way for me to eat for the rest of my life without having to do that. Same thing with training. Like I'm not going to do like hours and hours of cardio, or I'm not going to do like 2 hour sessions. I've got a system that works that I can see myself doing for the rest of my life. And it's the same thing with everything. Like if you're not going to do it, if you can't see yourself doing it long term, like why do it? Like these, that's why these fad diets never work.
Yes. And Brian, I'm totally going to echo that because this is exactly, I know you work with, first of all, Brian, just to let you guys know, he does coach. He coaches men over 40. So he's actually worked with a lot of my clients' husbands. And obviously, we're going to leave his details in the show notes so you guys can check him out. But one thing that we both do is like we help people really simplify and trim the fat of what they don't need to be doing. Because a lot of the time, everybody is just doing all this fluff that like they don't need to be doing and putting these expectations on themselves or doing something unrealistic or unsustainable or just unnecessary. Like you could be doing a lot less and getting more out of it. And that's even more true based on our discussion now with the ADHD. Like if you know how to train properly, you could be in and out in 45 minutes and get way more out of that than like, okay, I'm going to do these classes like every single day that your body's going to look exactly the same a year from now. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Less is more.
exactly. Less is more. It works smarter, not harder. So Brian, I'm going to leave you with one final question that's going to wrap things up nicely. What's your message to people who feel like ADHD makes staying consistent with their goals impossible?
Simplify things. I think with people in general, especially with ADHD, like we're so try and get things perfect, like we're perfectionists. And if things aren't perfect, then we procrastinate and we kind of stall. So the main thing is like break things down to like the simplest form you can. What do we talk about sometimes? Like the minimum effective
Minimal
dosage.
effective dose. Yeah.
Yeah, like so like break things down into like the minimum effective dose. Like what's one thing I can do that will help me get towards my goal? Like
The most impact.
what's one thing I can do in the morning that will help me get out the door and go to the gym? What's one thing I can
Yes.
do when I'm at the gym to get into the zone and be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. It's
Right.
like, instead of thinking like the big picture and trying to get everything perfect, like just what's one thing I can do and how can I do that? Like, how can I improve over time? Like, how can I be better today than I was last week?
I always say 1% better is the goal, right? It's
Yeah.
not to be like a totally different person and do a 180, maybe one day, but like just start now. And that's really good advice. So
Yeah.
I think we both echo the same thing. You're going to get more efficiency when you have a plan and you have support. And
Yeah.
you actually have a system from the get-go, right? Like everything we talked about, if you are feeling like, great, I don't know where to start now, that decision fatigue is going to come in and you're going to feel overwhelmed and not do anything. So again, if you do want that support, that is what we're here for. We do this exact thing with our clients. We can have a chat and we could see if this is something right for you. So fill out that contact form below. And if you are male or want to share this with a man in your life or your hubby, or anyone else, then please check out Brian. He is so awesome at helping you really create a simple structure. I think that's a great thing about what you do with your clients, Brian, is it's very simple and repeatable, which is exactly what we talked about. So his details are in the show notes. And yeah, thank you so much for this discussion, Brian. It was really awesome.
Thank you. This was really fun. And I hope we can do this again.
Absolutely. See you in
Yeah.
the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.